Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin report for Tuesday, June 21st. So we've been looking at the top here as a wave 1 with an A and a B and a C wave to come down through to here. Now, if I was to put this wave 4 here over here, then we would already have a low in place here, and then we would be bullish from this point. It would move up from that point. If that was going to be the case, then we need to build a case on that. So we'll need to see a larger move than what is currently there at the moment. But as it stands, I'm just looking at this as a corrective rally in line with stocks, and then another move to the downside here before we get to that low. And you know, the other thing too is that you know, these Bitcoin, the crypto, started to tune into the Nasdaq, especially in this leg here at the tops here. They were out somewhat. So if I look at Apple, well, let's have a look at this. Is in November, yeah, November 21 here. And then we look at, just say, Apple, just as an example. That was a month or two later, I think. Yeah, January, early January. So a good month before. Not that it's a big deal, but and then with Apple here, we're looking at an A and a B and a C wave down here. I know that you can count this differently as well, but in one way or another, we're just looking for a little wave 4 there, and just down for wave 5 to finish this off as well. But even with this here too, you know, I mean, I have to stress that this wave 2, you know, is just something that we're working on. Once we do land here, then we'll need to see an impulse wave of a reasonable size to the upside to help us confirm that we're at least on the right track in that space. You know, because when you think about it. Just to put things into perspective somewhat, let's just go, I don't think I've got this chart labeled. This is just the monthly chart here, and you know, this is what's happened with Apple, you know. So you know, we're looking for from these lows here up for 1 and back for 2, and just continue to push higher. But you know, that's all so a little bit hopeful as well, I must say. So we have to be really careful as we take each step forward, and I want you to be aware of that. The monthly stochastics, even though they're sort of lagging, they haven't really sort of clicked over yet. We would need to see, you know, a couple of up bars here to, you know, to help get a turn in that market. So, you know, these markets can come down further, and Bitcoin's the same as well. And the way that we're going to approach these, just coming back to the daily chart here for a moment, I am just going to, you know, count the waves down, and if we get a corrective move up here, well, then we'll be looking to short. We'll build in on the long side if we can see that's available, but if not, well, then we'll just be on the short side at that point. So just to be aware of that situation, you know. Rightio. So this particular low in through here, we also need to be very careful about that as well here, you know. We always like to look for a little bit of equality between wave A and wave C, which is B to C here. So that brings us down, you know, down here a little bit lower. Not that that's important, 17,200, but it is the 78.6% retracement level, roughly speaking. So somewhere down into that sort of, you know, 1650 sort of area possible. So just to recap here, it is possible to have this wave 4 sitting over here as a bit of a triangle pattern, and then that would make wave 5 completed at that point. So we would need to build a case here. I'm looking at it as a corrective rally, but if I'm wrong, well, then it'll turn into an impulse wave, and I'll see that, and then we'll make the right moves at the right time. But otherwise, I'm going to leave this over here. And the reason I'm putting wave 4 over here, as I mentioned yesterday, is because of the S&P 500. It's its top in this area through here. They coincide quite nicely, so we can look at it like that. Yeah, but look, once again, you know, when we're looking at wave 5C of 2 here as a low, you know, is that realistic? I mean, yeah, sure, it's realistic, but is it going to be the case? Well, we don't know, do we? So, you know, either here or here, we need to build a 5-wave structure, you know, something decent size, or at least find support on the 2500. Obviously, we can move in much earlier than that, but we want to see a decent impulse wave to the upside here. And yeah, that's sort of where we are at the moment. Is it possible to count this as down for 1, back for 2, and down for 3? Well, this wave here is still too short for wave 3, so that's not going to work. But if we end up having another 2 moves down here, which is also possible, just depends how you count this little guy in here. So this wave 3 here can quite easily sit over here as well for this and give us another leg on top of that down as well. So at that point, down at 10,000, then it kind of just starts to fit in that this here is a tad longer than this move here. And the other thing too that we can look at, I don't know if I could look at it on this chart. This is just a 2-day chart here. So, you know, if we're looking at this here as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, just as an example, we're looking for, you know, a pullback into here. We've passed the 61.8% already, and we're looking at the 78.6, which is down in the 17,200 area where we are here now. We've been counting down, looking for a low here and so on. You know, but this was also a little wave 1 and 2 in here as well, this little move up here. So, you know, let's look at that for a moment, but just get a visual of this here where we have this A, B, and C wave here for this. Let's take that image and place it over here. Not that we're expecting reoccurring patterns, but, you know, markets do have a certain fingerprint and footprint, or DNA, whatever you want to call it. So from the top here, we could also look at this as down for 1 here, an A and a B and a C for wave 2 here, well, wave A here, wave B here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. And what we're doing is we're counting 5 in this last wave here. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. So we could end up getting something like this, and then this whole sort of dribble down through here, you know, some other complex sort of situation that can last, you know, a year or thereabouts. You know, who knows? So that's why we, you know, at every step, you know, don't go believing anything. We just need to stay with the evidence and build a case and so on. So if, you know, in this case, down through here as an ABC, like where we are now, you know, we'll look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It didn't quite make a new high here, but if we did get, if we only get, if we got 5 waves up here and this pull back here in 3 waves, well, then I would look to go in and buy, well, I want to top my Bitcoin up, so I'll get 1 Bitcoin at that point. If I see 5 waves of at least that size, then I will go in. I don't need to buy down here. It doesn't bother me that much because I'm saving myself all of that. So it's just really mitigating, you know, finding a balance on the risk, so to speak. And this will probably, if we got 5 waves here, this will probably be my last Bitcoin that I buy. Because I think I'm going to get some water-cooled ASICs at some point in the future, and I might as well just, you know, mine a few Bitcoin as we go. So hopefully those ASIC miners, there's some water-cooled ones coming out soon. So hopefully if this does something like this and dribbles down here and everybody's bored shitless about everything, well then that's, you'll be able to pick up some machines you know, at that point down there. So, you know, if something like this occurs, you know, so you have to be aware of that, you know. I mean, it's just like looking at, you know, it's okay, like coming back to Apple here, and you look at this and you go, okay, well, that looks all okay, and I still need to prove that up there. But going to the monthly chart and looking at the monthly chart just clean here and squashing it all up and getting a good visual of it, well, that's not much of a correction really, is it, you know? So that's in sort of danger zone, really. You know, that could quite easily sort of break, you know, much lower in all of this. You know, be something like this here, you know, before heading higher. You know, that's all possible. So we just got to be careful as we go, just pointing out the good, the bad, and the ugly with all of this. Okay. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to compare this little trip here to this one over here. You know, not to say that it's going to repeat itself, but they kind of do in a way. You know, they got their own. This is also a 1 and 2 in here, and this you know, I remember going through all of this here, and when this ducked down here, I was going to buy some down here, but I didn't have any spare money at that point, so I couldn't get it until sort of just around the 10,000 mark here. But yeah, anyway, that's that really. Let's just go into the, let's go back to the daily chart just for a moment and open this up a little bit. So yeah, now that I've sort of spoken my piece about that a little bit, yeah, as I mentioned before, we can have wave 4 over here with wave 5 coming in under here, tucked in under here for that. We've got a low in place at the moment, but we want to see a nice 5-wave structure to the upside. Otherwise, we're looking for another little move to the downside. And now we're going to go in and have a look at that. I don't know if on the 2K tick or the 5. 5. So from this top here, you know, as I mentioned, I was counting this the same as the S&P's got, well, similar anyway, same sort of top here. But quite easily we can have wave 4 sitting over here, and if that's the case, then this wave 5 down here would already be in play down here for this. That would be the end of it. Would need to build up and so on. So once we call that low in here, then we've just been watching it climb to the upside, and we'd expect it to come back to the 38.2% retracement level, or the wave 4s of 1 lesser degree, so basically around the 2300 area through here. I can say to you, I have pulled apart, this is a 5k tick here, but I have been on the 20 tick just to check. But I can tell you that there's 5 waves in here, there's 5 waves in here, there's 5 waves in here, and there's 5 waves from here to here. So you could look at this as 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5 here. That would work. Okay, so you get 5 waves to that point. There's some sort of A wave, and then the correction here, but it's a little bit small for the correction. And then if you go the other way of 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4, you got overlap here, but you've also got overlap here as well with this. You don't have the overlap here on Ethereum, I don't think, from memory. So I still just haven't sorted out this little puzzle here. But as I've mentioned, from this low, we're heading up to 23. And, you know, it's a good case here. Just, you know, it's all very normal. With the trading levels, it's just very simple that the market migrates from being resistant, so you have the arrival, the reaction, and, you know, eventually it finds support on top here. So it's pretty much got support now, isn't it? You know, if you wanted to confirm that support, well, the break of the 21,000 would be that. But it does appear that this little move here is probably wave 1, with wave 2 pulling back, and then wave 3 pushing up, and so we're going to go up higher. Yeah, so it can have a low in here, but I just want to see how the stock market goes before I start calling that in. And like I said, if we're going to call it in as a low, we would want, you know, a nice 5 waves up to the 25,000 sort of area, and that's you know, so it would sort of all support on top of the 23,000. The top of minor group 1 would be significant. And also too, remember that if we do get 5 waves here, remember that we're going to pull back anyway, back into this space here somewhere, you know, as a 50-60% retracement level. So into this support over here, so we could pick it up over here. It's not a big deal, but we'd really want to confirm that. We don't want to go long here in here unless you're just short-term trading, but you don't want to go, you don't, if you're a hodler, you don't want to go long here because it could end up back down here, you know, in due course. So we really want to be able to confirm a nice 5 waves to the upside at that point, you know, whichever way we go with it, you know, it's as simple as that. And Ethereum's the same as well. Let me just get Ethereum here somewhere. So slightly different degree of structure here, but with Ethereum we're looking at an A and a B and a C wave here. We could put the A wave on top here for that. We've got good clearance here on this one, so that makes it a bit nicer. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Not quite right though. I think this would probably be this may even be up for 1 and back for 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the 3rd wave, 4th wave, and then a 5th wave up here, then the B wave. There's a couple of variations that it could go. I know that you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you've got wave 1 there. So the bullish people will be putting wave 1 there, and you know, they'll be riding their horse into the sunset. But just be a little bit careful at this stage. Don't overdo it if you're going in that direction. But yeah, this another little classic trading levels pattern on the 1100 here, and this little move here is corrective. It's in 3 waves, so we should take out the tops there, so that can continue. You could go long and move up at that point. So we'll see. That could be the A wave. This could be the B wave. We still need the stock market to tune into all of this as well. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for wave C, heading back up to 1,300 at that point. So if we move past this, for example, if we took this as wave 1 here and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 3rd wave, then we'd have to have the 4th wave and then the 5th wave up here. So we would want to see 5 waves, you know, from this low coming up here somewhere. It would be somewhere up here. You know, we'd need to see that, and then we would have the ABC correction after that, and then that's when we'd make our move, you know, in this section over here for that, based on that 5 wave move there. So we're not going to miss, you know, for the point of being safe, we're not really missing much at all. So we can just sort of chill on that. That's it in a nutshell. The Nasdaq too, we've been looking at that. So the Nasdaq here, we're looking at the A, the B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So we're expecting that to move up. But as I said to the industry traders, this whole move up here as an A and a B and a C could also just be the A wave, and then we have the B wave here, and then a C wave up here. So that's also possible as well. So wave 4s can be a little bit tricky, so we have to be a bit careful, but we'll get there in the end. The interesting thing though with the S&P 500, this B wave took out the low here, which is just another little reason to make me feel that that I'm on the right track. But I know the pressure's on. Where are we here for the S&P 500? Yeah, the S&P 500. You see how the B wave here, this ABC here, took out the low here on the futures market. So, I mean, a B wave can do that. So it kind of tells me that this move up is corrective. But yeah, anyway, we'll see in due course anyway. Alrighty, cheers.